D.H. Lawrence, the famous English poet, wrote, "I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself. A small bird will drop frozen dead from above without ever having felt sorry for itself." We all have seen the pictures. Hungry children, long lines of people queuing, aid workers handing out parcels of food. When people are hungry, we should feed them. It's obvious, and it's been at the heart of our understanding of aid for so many years. How many of you have been engaging in such a thing, even just donating a few euros or dollars? May you raise your hand? Almost any one of you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your generosity, honestly. But have you thought, is food aid the best way to do it? Too often, this kind of aid is patronizing, ineffective, and doesn't respect the people it's intended to support. Let me take you to Turkana. Any one of you have been in Turkana? Okay, what about Kenya? That's easier, good. Turkana is one of the driest, poorest, and most remote areas of Kenya. And it's getting drier. Most of the people are traditional pastoralists. They move their herds of cattle across the harsh landscape. Local conflict often flares when water runs out and pastures dries up. Turkana has been neglected economically and politically for decades, making life even harder. It looks a completely different country than Kenya. Actually, Turkana people, when they visit Nairobi, the capital, they talk about going to Kenya. The main asset of Turkana is its people. One of the most resilient people in the world. You have to be to survive in such an environment. Still, when drought hits them, they lose their livestock. They lose their entirely livelihoods. They live on the edge of poverty. No savings to fall back on. Children got pulled out of schools. Men and women abandon their rural homes, heading town in search for a job. Food crises are rarely down to a shortage of food. There is food in the markets. People cannot afford it. So the aid agencies, we bring in food, tons of food. It looks the most evident thing to be doing. But as Roger Toros put it before, from Seattle, to what extent this is distorting the local markets. I remember Joyce, she's a local trader in Turkana, saying to me, last time business ruined my business. When thousands of tons of free food came to my place, nobody bought from myself. I was out of business. On top of this, imagine the logistical nightmare to do it. And Jordi, who's around, knows better than me. Literally hundreds of trucks crossing the whole country with food. Expensive, logistically challenging, and extremely risky. Sometimes they fell prey on bandits. Sometimes they arrive very late. Sometimes people queue for hours to find that there is no food, and it will be coming for days. It's so heartbreaking seeing such a strong people are the Turkana people just having to queue for food. It should be another way of doing this. So we are exploring alternatives. We are doing this in a completely different way. Instead of giving food, we are giving cash. Yeah, cash. Literally cash, like this. For the people to decide how to spend or invest it. Some NGOs give cash, usually conditional cash. We give cash, but you have to spend it in paying the fees of the school. Or sometimes we give cash just as paying for manual labor, such as digging latrines or improving roads. But for cash transfers to work, they must be unconditional. People should be able to decide how to spend their money. No strings, no restrictions, no advice. It's entirely up to them. Are you damn crazy? That was the most common thing we heard at the beginning. Poor people don't know how to spend the money. They will take the money and will spend it in alcohol. They will get another wife. They will waste money just buying stupid things. How can you give money for nothing? Well, you know, we give food for nothing. Nobody challenges us. Why not with cash? I'll tell you why. It is our attitudes to poverty that shapes how we expect the aid to be given. Most of us, everybody in this room, the better off. We feel that we got where we are through sheer hard work. We deserve it. It's our right. Whereas the poor, it's largely their fault to be poor. They are unintelligent. They are lazy. They are bad with money. And because this is so rooted in our souls, we think it's perfectly all right to make decisions on behalf of the poor. After all, they don't know what is good for them. How incredibly patronizing. How any of us can be so arrogant to assume that we know what she needs or she wants better than she does. Okay, I was one of them. I was brought up like this. I thought the poor were not able to do it. I feel ashamed for it, believe me. But I was lucky. I was put in a situation to learn from it. I had the privilege to see it in action. So, if I did it, there is hope for you. I'm much stubborn than yourself. And after all, just check Europe, our economic situation. I mean, it's the perfect proof to show that it's not only the poor people who made stupid and catastrophic decisions, as far as I heard. We trust bankers and governments with billions of euros, and they end deceiving us. Yet, we cannot trust a young mommy with a few dollars. This can be right. Being poor does not mean being bad with money. Being poor means having no access, no options, no trust of others. Being poor means fearing how to put food in the mouth of your children tomorrow. Fearing how you will pay the school fees to avoid them to be dropped off. Fearing how you will cope with the next crisis. Giving cash gives choice, gives hope, gives power. She can decide to spend her money buying food, but also she can decide to spend her money paying the school fees. And also she can decide to spend her money setting up a small business that will earn profit for her. Clearly, giving cash is far better than giving food. But how we do this? A few years ago, providing cash had been a real nightmare. Now, East Africa is at the cutting edge on technology to transfer funds. We have partnered with a bank in Turkana. In every small shop in the middle of nowhere, a handheld like this one, people arrive. They put their fingerprints, they chip in the pin, and they collect the money. It's like a mobile ATM, but better. Actually, we do this not only in Turkana. We do this in parts of Somalia, of Congo, of Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia. Anywhere we can do this. If we can do this in these parts, anywhere in the world can be done. The new approach brings some clear benefits. It's more practical, it's easier, much less cumbersome in terms of logistics. Also, because we use banking institutions, they put poor people a foot on the banking system, giving them access to credit loans, savings, that will allow them to grow their businesses. But also, there is far more dignity in giving the right to choose, giving choice to people. Poor people will spend the money in a way that is meaningful for them, in a way that will help them to climb out of poverty by themselves. And we must resist the temptation to think that we know better, because we don't. We need to rethink how we give aid. Aid is not to help the people to have their heads above the water. Aid is to help the people to realize their ambitions and their dreams, as we did with Miss Yara. Fatoumata Yara is a Malian girl, a Malian woman. I met her a few months ago. She was granted with $90. $90. She transformed those $90 in a thriving clothing industry. Now she can put food on the table for her children, and she can put them through the school. She had the talent, the passion, the drive, the energy. Giving her $90 on cash gave her much more possibilities than hundreds of dollars spent on food aid. I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself. Please, do change your mind. Do trust poor people. Don't let anyone to feel sorry for themselves.